British Columbia Institute of Technology acknowledges that our campuses are located on the unceded traditional territories of the Coast Salish nations of Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh.
Good morning. My name is Joe McHugh, and here are your 11 a.m. BCIT News headlines. Starting off in Nova Scotia, where the province has created a new online portal it says will eventually allow mining companies to apply for and track their permit applications online. The provincial government says this move is part of its commitment to make it easier for mining firms to do business in Nova Scotia. Phase 1 of the project will allow firms to check the status of their application for licenses and permits online. The province says it anticipates the portal will become a one-stop shop for mining companies. In a move to heighten safety for teenage users, Instagram will be restricting their account's ability to see non-PG-13 content by default. Furthermore, they won't be able to change their settings without parental permission.
Instagram users under 18 will now have tighter controls on language, images, and themes turned on automatically. Tara Hopkins, Global Director of Public Policy at Instagram, says it's the type of content you'd see in a PG-13 movie.
We're doing this to really speak the language of parents who are much more familiar with movie ratings in terms of kind of a familiar model for those who are using Instagram.
Also, teens won't be able to opt out of the system without permission from a parent. Mike Dubusky, ABC News.
The federal government hopes to implement their climate competitiveness strategy by the end of the month. Prime Minister Mark Carney hopes to reframe Canada's approach to climate issues amidst the ongoing global trade wars. Our reporter, Kai Garcia, has more.
Canada is looking into growing low-carbon energy sectors or update existing conventional energy industries to keep up with climate competitiveness. Prime Minister Mark Carney plans to reap the economic benefits that the energy sector may bring. In turn, this could deprioritize emission targets. During Carney's election campaign, he said that he would keep the caps in place. However, it looks like the government is considering repealing the caps due to pressure from the oil and gas industry as well as the government of Alberta. Kai Garcia, BCIT News.
As the U.S. government shutdown enters day 14, workers at Atlanta's airport are getting some assistance.
TSA employees at Hartsfield-Jackson have been on the job without pay since the government shutdown started on October 1st. Today, they are receiving meal vouchers for use at any of the airport's restaurants. Aaron Barker, president of the local TSA Workers Union, says,
being that these officers have not received a full paycheck, any little thing as far as a meal, gas, or whatever the case is a help.
Full-time officers will get 2 free meal vouchers, while part-time employees will receive 1. Jonathan O'Brien, ABC News, Atlanta.
Now with an update on the Israel-Palestine ceasefire. The tenuous ceasefire in the 2-year Israel-Hamas war is being tested as complex issues remain a day after widespread jubilation over the return of the last 20 living hostages held in Gaza to Israel and the release of hundreds of Palestinian prisoners in exchange. The focus in Israel has turned to when Hamas will return the remains of 24 Israeli hostages believed to still be in Gaza. 4 were turned over to Israeli authorities on Monday. A UN spokesperson in Gaza said Israel informed it of plans to have aid into Gaza, accusing Hamas of violating the ceasefire with the slow release of dead hostages. In Gaza, health officials said the Israeli military fatally shot 3 Palestinians. Madagascaran President Andry Rajoelina has dissolved the lower house of parliament, intensifying the political crisis in the country. This move comes after a military rebellion led him to flee and go into hiding. An elite military unit joined anti-government protests over the weekend, calling for Rajoelina to step down in an apparent coup attempt. Rajoelina has called for dialogue and insists the Constitution should be respected. Here's a sound of protesters chanting. Stocks are wavering on Wall Street as trade tensions escalate again with China. The S&P 500 rose 0.2% on Tuesday. The index is coming off its best day since May. The Dow Jones Industrial Average rose 309 points, or 0.7%, and the Nasdaq Composites dropped 2%. Every major index had slumped earlier. As far as weather is concerned, sunshine is expected to continue today, up to and through Thursday this week, before we see some clouds come in on Friday, which will eventually turn to rain on Saturday and Sunday. Those were your 11 a.m. news headlines. Join us again at 11:30 for the latest. Joe McHugh, BCIT News.
Stay tuned for more on BCIT's 1680 The Crow.
The hands-on part of the program is the main thing that drew me to the program, and it's the main thing that I'm taking away from this program. There's no experience like just being able to go out and practice and do the work, and been able to do that both here in the newsroom, out on the internships, multiple internships that I've been able to go on, and I think it'll serve me very well.